Yeah, it's crazy how good he has been. Let us introduce our players, and then we can talk a little bit more about where the land lies. Because our first player in the bottom left, he is the blue Protoss player from Russia. It is Strange for the second time today.
And his opponent, spawning up in the top right in the red, it is the Russian player Skillous. And like I said, he is cruising so far. He's 2-0, 2-0, 2-0 over Goblin, over Stefano, over Geralt. Now, granted, those are not, that's not max packs. That's not Clem. But Goblin, he's doing well in this group.
PvP players, too, I will say. Geralt's always been good at PvP. Goblin is a wonky style of PvP, but he's not dissimilar to how I imagine Strange will play. I think you can draw parallels and that you're going to be playing a slightly wonky style, certainly, but they're probably... So I would say Skillous is certainly the favourite in this matchup. Strange, it's so easy to say he plays Strange, but I'm going to do it anyway. He does play differently because he already, no wall, just nothing. Adepts can be so scary when you do something like this. Like, what do you do if your opponent opens double Adept? I honestly don't know.
I don't know why he's done this. At the very least, I would have hoped to have seen him build the gateway here, like right next to the pylon, and create like a sort of wall around his nexus. But like this, like just build Adepts and win the game, I think, is the play here. Like,
I bet he doesn't.
I don't know how you stop this.
Neither do I. I don't get it at all. Now, Stalker Sentry as well. No, he's not going to do it, of course, because there must be something that we don't know, being not as intelligent Protoss players. I know you're pretty good, but I just make cannons anyway, so... Stalker Sentry for both our players. So very safe openings across the board. Double gate, Stalker Sentry, everything up on the high ground. A block coming down as well here. Not sure I love that when you know the first two units are coming out. I guess it's to see what the first two units are. Yeah, ignore me. You're going to do that no matter what. Bad take. Is this a supply block? Why didn't he build a second pylon?
He actually...
A third pylon? He didn't build one.
He built it at his opponent's base,
and then it just got cancelled.
Oh boy.
This is a huge supply block. Like, one of the worst I've ever seen.
Yeah, this is not meant to happen. At 31 supply?
No, it happens to me every game at 31 supply.
Well, you're ready to make your graduation into the ESL Pro Tour.
I can't wait. No, I'm alright, I'll sit here. Okay, so yeah, this is bad. The first few units are really delayed here, and if Skillous were to just move out at this point, I mean, he's really ahead in terms of army value and army supply. It does look like it will be caught up here by Strange, as he is making those couple of Stalkers now to even things up. But like sentries and stuff, you can see Skillous has 3. He's going to have constant scouting. Excuse me. There's just 1 here for Strange, so scouting isn't going to be as good. It's going to be difficult.
The one thing I will say is that Strange handled it nicely. He canceled his 3rd and 4th gateway units. He built a Twilight Council, and then he just expanded. Yeah, I mean, like, he still allocated his resources effectively. But
this pylon
that's so weird to see. Yeah, he's going to lose this pylon, too. Fortunately, he does have the Nexus finishing up, and that will grant him a ton of supply.
Yeah.
But he still is going to need to rebuild that pretty soon. Oh, he wants to save it, though.
He does, but there's a hell of a lot of Skillous moving down right now. Skillous has a higher army supply. He has the bushes as well. Forceman's coming down here. Of course, there's no blink. We're far too early for anything like that. And that means that Skillous is probably going to be able to get the better end of this. If he gets that sentry as well, he won't. His own force field's kind of going against him. But this is great for Skillous. He gets the pylon. He kills a few units. Like, Skillous lost 1 sentry for 2 Stalkers and a pylon. That's fine. He still has 1 more sentry than his opponent.
Yeah. And now, oh man, that was a bit of a bold move from Strange. Yeah. Fortunately, the sentries weren't quite in position, but that could have been really, really unfortunate. That being said, Skillous does kind of take a better angle on things, gets a couple extra shots on these Stalkers, but Blink is going to complete for Strange.
Yeah, and it's good to scout that, though. You now know exactly what's happening. You know your exact timings. Excuse me. You can see Skillous is already producing Immortal number 1. He's getting a Twilight Council of his own. He's continuing to probe up. In terms of upgrades, Not a lot in it with Chrono. If Chrono is dumped in by Skillous, he'll catch up pretty quick. If not, we're looking at about 20 seconds probably. Charge coming in here for Strange. That has been the decider for a lot of these games, actually, is charge and +1 timings. And maybe there's a window there for Strange to make something happen, because it's going to be a hell of a lot quicker than Skillous's, whose Twilight Council still hasn't even finished.
Okay, I'm having like a... This feels to me like this is going to be an insanely committed all-in out of Strange. That charge is so insanely quick.
Insane.
We are seeing a robotics facility. We're seeing
and then
a
he
third
takes
gateway coming down. Oh, yeah. Fair enough. Never mind.
Yeah.
Premonition wrong.
Oh, yeah. Don't worry, Steadfast. You'll get the rest of them. Skillous has his third, of course, as well, and is generally in a good spot as his immortal count grows. He will eventually catch up on those Twilight upgrades. Blink is about 1/3 of the way done. He's got a very good probe count already in the 50s. He's adding more gateways. His +1, as I said. No Chrono being dropped into that. He has a lot of Chrono energy. I'm wondering where it's going, as we see Strange is pumping his into that Forge. And that's a little scary, because this is a pretty committed attack. Nice blink there. Strange doing a good job of killing one and then getting out of dodge. But with an upgrade disadvantage, it's always scary for any fight. If a bunch of Zealots were to be made, like now, and they were to go, there'd be like a 10-second window, maybe. I don't know. I think if Strange had gone for a committed all-in, it could have been good. I mean, we see a lot more than they do, obviously, but...
yeah, and Skillous has been popping those hallucination scouts, so he could have dropped a bunch of shield batteries. In fact, he's still going to, which is funny. But yeah, it's so weird. Such a weird scenario.
I want to make jokes about the Footloose thing being said in chat with your last name, but we're going to ignore it. Blink now finishing up for Skillous as well. Going to even up that playing field at least, but Charge is already done here for Strange, and Skillous has not yet started here. So good news is that Skillous is really out of position if you're a Strange fan. This might end up being a forced recall, but this is a so many dead probes.
It's quite a bit of damage right there. 7 probes going down. How many Stalkers did he lose?
2?
Next battle in 3, it looks like. 3 Stalkers for 4... No, that battle report's wrong. Yeah, it's showing 4 probes, but 7 died, so... and he did force the battery overcharge. Battery overcharge actually saved probably an extra, like...
3, 4, maybe?
I would say at least that. Because... with battery overcharge just heals up so quickly that it heals units that otherwise... Because it heals so quickly, it can jump to healing other units at important times, and there was no target fire on the probes towards the end, so that saved actually a lot more probes than... Yeah. It was an important save, an important move.
+2 has now completed for Strange, and I mean, you see the power of Chrono Boost. We were about 10-15 seconds behind. Now we're probably close to a minute, or 45 seconds, let's say. And Strange has a big window of opportunity, and guess what? He's storming down the middle of the map right now, and he has a whole bunch of charge zealots. He has a prism. He's up to how many gates? 8 gates? This is a scary push.
It is a very scary push, and a lot of these immortals they're good against Stalkers.
Not this
if
many
those charge
zealots
plots are in the front, good luck getting the target fire on those Stalkers. First of all, it's very difficult to micro that while you're microing the whole fight, and second of all, it's just going to be a rough time. Now, this is very interesting. We're seeing a skipping of the Templar archives. So that means that Skillous is going to have the Archons when his opponent will not, and he does have his own charge now done. This is a little bit awkward, though.
Yeah, you can see the army. What Strange really wants to do is he wants to pull the army away from the batteries here. Oh, he gets a prism. That's a big pickup. Of course, that now means that these immortals can no longer be microed in and out of it. They're going to go down quite quickly. The hallucinated Colossus, of course, not actually doing any damage. Probes are falling, and that's very important as Zealot reinforcements went in for the main fight here. There's so many probes dying behind this Steadfast. You can see that they're all trying to get into this gas geyser, but there's not enough space for all of them. 10 probes going down. If Strange can save the majority of his army here, we'll just get this big reinforcing warp in. Or he only gets some. It might be enough, though.
That was so literally down to like 0.2 seconds. 5 more Zealots show up. And that is the importance of rapid fire right there. And with that snipe, and that was just enough for Skillous to hold on. And now he can kind of route this army a little bit. We'll be able to chase down a few extra Zealots here. No, he's going to choose to go back home. That was so close to just being a dead Skillous.
Yeah, it really, really was. I agree. I think Skillous's +2 kicked in at some point during the fight, and that really saved him as well. We would have been looking at a different fight if it was just +1 the whole way. But again, Strange continues to push his lead in terms of upgrades as he has +1 armor on. He's now getting a Templar Archives as well. He's got his 4th base down, and we'll be very happy that that is already... oh no, it's only about a quarter of the way done. As we said, the armor is coming in. Yep. Getting another Prism, and I think we're going to see Strange continue to pile on some pressure here, or at least start some run-bys and things, because he's in a great spot.
Yeah, he's in a really, really solid spot. Could have been... The game could have been over, and Skillous, he actually did go up to 10 gateways during all that, and he actually pulls ahead in army supply, and he hasn't been rebuilding probes, so he's just going to be looking to go for denial on this base, and he's got a decent little army supply lead right now.
Yeah, it is. It is pretty nice. And as we said, upgrades are even for about 20, maybe 30 seconds. The concave here is a lot better for Skillous, and he has that prism behind for those quick warpins. Now, the warpins are going to struggle to get into the fight as there are so many Archons. In fact, they're going to wrap around on the base instead. Don't whip it like that. They'll now sort of find their way into the fight. Skillous has taken such a great fight here. The army supply continues to grow for him. Immortal's falling down right now for Strange. I honestly thought Skillous might have been dead in this game, but just like that, he's turned it on his head, and I think Skillous just won game 1. GG. Oh my gosh, my voice went. GG.
Very well played right there by Skillous. That I cannot emphasize enough how this was a game of literally about 0.2 seconds.
Yeah.
The snipe on that War Prism was so clutch. I thought for sure it was going to get the full warp in, but it just barely went down in time, and Skillous ends up taking down the game. I'm going to watch on the replay how many Zealots, all but I think 3 Zealots were canceled on the warp in, which means he lost out on 5 charge lots there.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, I mean, 5 charge lots probably would have sniped a few more of those key units. I don't think the game ended there, but the counter push didn't do as much because maybe another Immortal or Archon goes down, and every unit was so important. So really, really solid game from Skillous. I mean, I honestly thought he was dead. I really did. He was behind in pretty much every respect for a long, long time. And was able to snap that one up and bring it back.
Yeah, that was it doesn't come any closer or any more clutch than that. Very, very well done by Skillous. And he's got to be feeling good about that. And he keeps his unbeaten streak in maps alive, and with play like that, I mean, it's not surprising to see why he's in first place in his group. Nice. Once again, ahead of both Max, Pax, and Clem.
Yeah.
And yes, he has to play both of them still, but
he hasn't got the map.
Comes out of this, yeah, if he comes out of this 4-0, 8-0, like,
I mean, that puts him through almost certainly to qualifying. Like, I'd say, yes, certainly. If he wins this next map, he is, I would say, certainly already qualified. Which, 100%. If you're Skillous, and you're looking at this group, you'd say getting through to the round of 16 would be a minimum expectation. If you get through in first or second place, you've already skipped 1 round of games then. You're playing against as I said, you skip around and you're making a little bit more money. I think you minimum then make like 1,700. Yeah, the last you could come is 9th to 12th for that place, I think. I don't know. Anyway, map 2. Let's get into it.
Absolutely.
We find your camera.
Here we go. Spawning down in the bottom right position of Romanticide. It is the red Russian Skillous.
And his opponent in the top left. Trailing in the series 0-1, he is the blue Russian Strange.
And I do want to make the point, each individual series, that's worth 125 USD as well. So every single series that you win, that's money in the bank. That is money in the bank. If you sweep your group, you've almost made $1,000 right off the bat right there. That's $75 just into your bank account. And so it's nice. It gives players a really great incentive, even if you're at like 0-6 in your group. You know, you're out of the playoffs for sure. Even 0-5 or 1-4, and you're like, yeah, no, I don't have any chance. You still playing for an extra 125 USD and 1 best of 3.
Yeah,
that can be, you know, that can be 20 minutes. You can crank out a 2-0 in 20 minutes if you're really on point.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is a scenario where we might be seeing a pretty quick 2-0. So far, everything is very normal here on Romanticide. Skillous, so that last game, I'm going to keep saying it, really impressed me. I really thought he was behind. We saw how far behind his upgrades were, how scary things look for him, but he comes through, still not dropped a map here in DreamHack Masters full, and now he has to close things out against Strange.
Yeah, he's looking to do so. Meanwhile, though, we got to talk about Strange's position, and he needs to win out. He needs to not just win this series 2-1. He needs to probably win the rest of his series in order to make the playoffs. He was always going to be most likely a wild card spot. Like, we were looking... No one's talking about Strange coming, first or second place. Even third place with, Skillous, Max Pax, Clem, Goblin, and even a Bly who actually is really a wild card. Yeah. With all of them, you're really looking at fourth place as your best spot, most likely for Strange.
Agreed.
But to be 1-3 and being threatened to be 1-4 at this point, it's going to be a little bit of a disappointment for him for sure.
Yeah, I agree. He made some good moves. Like, even that last game, as we said, I felt like there were times where he could have closed it out. I don't think it was him making mistakes more as it was just Skillous playing amazingly well. A Strange does get that quicker Nexus down this game. But he does need to win this out, definitely. If you go to like X and 4, it becomes very unlikely you qualify. It can still happen. We've seen players at 3 and 4 qualify, but it isn't. Your fate is in other people's hands instead of your own. No player wants that. They want to be in control of their own destiny, so to say, in these games. Good news for Strange, though, didn't get supply blocked.
That's a big deal. He did get his Nexus down a lot quicker, too. He went for that pylon block there, which he let it finish, but, that's super worth it. 100 minerals for how much... Look at how much time he's going to have mining with so many extra probes.
20 seconds?
It's going to be, like 20 seconds. And that's going to be more than 100 minerals easily.
Yeah, I agree with you. And also, it's just annoying. You can never account for the pros. Skillous has now been doing this for a couple of years. And Strange is one of those players who's been at the top end for a couple of years. Maybe he was competing beforehand, but their mental game is pretty good. No one's mental game is ever perfect. But you just want to play your game, and when your opponent throws you off of that, it is frustrating. Pretty quick forge here for both players, in fact. I guess it's pretty normal forge. I don't know why I said that. Blink coming for both. No +1 started for Skillous yet. There we go. But really, in this game, I mean, that window is like 5 or 6 seconds. It's so difficult to capitalize on something like that, because you never know how far behind it is. Right now, Strange comes in, scouts, sees it's identical to what he's doing, so he's going to think, okay, I can't do a timing attack based on what I'm doing, because he's doing the same, and he has defender's advantage.
That is a quick third Nexus right there. Before any additional tech building off of... Now, granted, he did scout his opponent's Forge in Twilight, which means no crazy aggressive move. And so I actually like the move quite a bit. Meanwhile... Skillous, he's going to be the one scouting his opponent now. Did he see that Nexus? Of course he did. He's got double Phoenix coming in.
He's got his own immediately.
Nexus. It's not that bad. It'll translate to maybe 1 or 2 probes, but shouldn't be enough to change the outcome of the game.
No, I agree with you there. And we can see right now Skillous does have slightly higher army supply, seeing that third was a little behind. He knows he has to have an advantage somewhere because he's playing a good game of StarCraft. So he's going to move out now with a few of his units and see if he can put some pressure on, force maybe an extra warp-in cycle whilst he probes up.
This of course, is cute, the hallucination.
Yeah, it is. I agree with you. Now, Skillous, did he notice, is the question. Oh my god, those sentries are brave. They were just like running at him, like, come at me, bro. Got force fields for days. Yep, Skillous going to be forced back here. He's just imposing himself on his opponent, making him know that, you can't do whatever you want. I'm here, I'm scary, I might kill you, make some units. Strange doesn't bite, he's continuing to just produce triple probes. Both players right now got decent work account. Strange has a couple more, as you said he would, because that base was a bit quicker, but they didn't going to last too long. Upgrades, as I said, a very small window of opportunity, no fights here, and we're going to move into a mid-game where we're pretty even.
Yeah, very much so. This time it is going to be Strange going for a quick Templar Archive, so we will see that Archon tech coming on in pretty quickly. I'm glad we're seeing that. I'm glad we're seeing that. We're not going to see any crazy all-in here out of Strange. Now, I actually think those 2 hallucinated stalkers were a bigger, like, they were a very big deal. Because Skillous had, like, he had 5 stalkers to 3, which doesn't seem like a lot, but, like, that's actually a lot more firepower. And he had quicker blink. So if he had, you know, gotten on top of his opponent's army, gotten some good force fields, and then just has blink available, we could be talking about, you know, Strange being down maybe 15 supply at this point because he lost a bunch of army.
And 5 Stalkers, if it's not enough, it's very, very close enough alongside the Sentries to one-shot Sentries. Once you kill them, then you've denied the vision, you've denied everything important, and the game gets a little scary. Now, we do see gateways being added across the board, but Skillous is going up to 12. That's a lot. Strange is going to be at gateways. 12. So both players making a whole bunch of gateways here off of 3 bases. I thought 10 was more standard, but I guess they're both planning some aggression as they're playing a very similar style.
Yeah, we are seeing Skillous going up to a much higher gas count here. He's gone up to all 6 gases, and that means he's going to be able to get a ton of Archons. Look at his gas count right now. He's got enough for
1,000 pretty much.
3 Archons?
3 Archons?
Yeah. That's a lot of freaking Archons. And he's going to pop those out immediately. How many do we have on the field? There's already 2 here for Strange.
Yes.
Still, I don't know. I like Skillous's position right here.
Yeah, I do too.
As long as he fights with +2. If he fights before +2,
he may have to cancel this 4th base. I don't know, 7 seconds. He's got an Observer. That Observer is going to be so big. His upgrade just 1 second away, so the upgrade will complete. If we have a fight now, it's even Stevens on the playing field. Army supply slightly favoring Strange. Actually, 15 is a pretty good amount. And some of the army supply is in a warping in Archon. There's no battery here, which is a little bit scary, but the Prism is here to allow juggling from Archons and Immortals for both players. Now, Strange still has a scary army, and he's actually wedged himself behind here. I'm not sure if that's going to end up being the right decision, as both players now fighting. The battery's getting closer and closer to completing, and batteries really could be the saving grace here for Skillous.
Yeah, he does have a lot less Zealots. Skillous does. He's down 11 Zealots, but he also has 2 more Archons, with 2 more about to finish on a big attack coming on in just as the Nexus finishes. We can see battery overcharge. Yeah. It's a little bit too far away, though. But, oh, man, the Stalkers, they blink forward. They got the Warp Prism, and that was exactly what Skillous needed.
Okay, it does look like Strange is going to be able to retreat, but that's the complete end of this push. And now we even have Immortals flanking onto the Sentries here. Super cute. Oh, the Prism goes down in return. That might actually kill any hope of a counter push here. Another Sentry goes down. The Immortal might go down as well. It does get slashed down by those Zealots. And now Skillous has that army advantage, as we said. If he still had his Prism, this game could very much be over. But that was a great fight from Skillous. He bought his time so well. He danced back and forth until the Nexus finished, and he had overcharge available, and then blinking to get that Prism was just incredible play from Skillous. His micro and decision making has just leveled up from DreamHack Summer, even when we last saw him, and now he's got his opponent out of position.
Yeah, but he's got to be very, very careful. His opponent has so many more charge left. There are a lot of Archons here. So many Archons for Skillous. Actually, 8 Archons is an insane amount.
Yeah,
but
it's hard to get a concave with that many, though. Like, when you have that many Archons, and also this many Zealots, the Archons kind of, they dance, they get a little bit stuck in the path. Oh my god, the Archon count going up to 10. And yeah, it can be difficult. Now, if he gets out into the open, those Archons, you can see 2 in the back right now, they're not able to join the fight, meaning that they're literally wasted supply. It's very difficult to involve all of these. He probably needs to blink to the side to let more Archons in. But battery overcharge used. Skillous backs off here. He's still up in army supply. He's down in upgrade, though. He never started +3.
No, he did not, and this could be a little bit troubling, but he is so far ahead in that army supply and army value massively. Archons are threatening this base on the top left side. They will take down that cannon. This is, man, Strange is really trying to fight on here. But the thing is, once this Nexus goes down, things get even worse for him. We are going to see a blink forward coming in on the top side from Strange. Is he going to be able to take this down? It's going to be very close. All the Archons going down for Strange. He's just got Blink Stalkers, no charge lots left either. Yeah. And that means, yeah, Skillous is just going to be able to overwhelm him easily. Look at the resources lost. Huge advantage for Skillous in this game.
And that is going to be 8-0 for Skillous in DreamHack Masters 4.